Ah, fall. The most relaxing time of the year. The leaves are falling, the weather becomes pleasant, and anime fucking sucks! At least that's what you'd hear from the majority before this season even began. Things were looking grim to many people. Some heralded it as the season of sequels and magical girls. Just like that, everyone started to dismiss the season. Well, I'm here to tell you, not only were those people wrong, but that this could be the strongest season of anime we've gotten all year. Don't believe me? Well, let's just take a look for ourselves. Before we get into the top 5, I do want to give some honorable mentions to some of the shows that didn't quite make it, but are still shaping up to be good shows in their own right. Occultic 9, from the creator of Steins Gate, looks like it could turn out to be an interesting mystery. Luckily, no one will know what happens ahead of time because the first episode sped through like half of the source material. Also, that opie though.
Yes.
Three Gatsu no Lion, or March Comes In Like a Lion, had a very subtle first episode, beautifully animated by Shaft, with some very cool directorial choices. Not to mention Best Girl Momo. Yuri on Ice, which should more accurately be called Yaoi on Ice, had a decent first episode, shining the brightest in its more character-driven and dramatic moments, with Yuri himself looking like he will be a very relatable and fun character to watch. Not to mention its OP being probably my favorite of the season. Seriously, if you have not heard that OP, click off of this video right now and go fucking listen to it. It is incredible. Finally, it's with a heavy heart that I also must put Hibike Euphonium Season 2 on the honorable mentions. I thought for sure this would make it into the top 5 with its hour-long first episode and how much I loved the first season. The episode itself is somewhat slow and uneventful, but it's the cast and writing that make Euphonium so good in the first place. I have no doubt it will be greater down the line, but as for now, there are 5 episodes that topped it. Before we begin, you should know I'm not watching everything that's airing this season, even some of the more popular stuff, either because I wasn't interested in checking it out or I haven't seen the previous seasons to get involved. So just keep that in mind before telling me how incredible Haikyuu Season 3 is. Without further ado, here are the top 5 anime you should be watching in fall 2016. Leading off this list is actually the first anime I saw from this season. Shumatsu no Izeta, or Izeta the Last Witch, had a fantastic start, and set the bar for the rest of the shows I had to watch. With a strong lead character and a supernatural story that takes place in an alternate history, this is shaping up to be a very interesting plot and setting. I went into this not knowing anything, checking out the first episode on a whim, and was surprised by how much I got invested into what was going on. Everything is presented in such a cinematic fashion, and the soundtrack, oh god, the soundtrack. This soundtrack is probably the best of the season. Whoever did it has captured the spirit of a fantasy and reality perfectly. Animation was solid, and it should be considering the animation directors in charge of Sword Art Online 2 were brought over, which no matter how much you may hate SAO, you can't deny the animation has always been solid. Even further is that the original character designs were done by none other than Beck, illustrator for the SAO light novels. Don't let these comparisons turn you off. The point I'm trying to get across is that this should be a very crisp and visually rich series. But more important than that, I hope the plot stays consistent with this first episode's quality. It's a one-cour series, so there's always the chance things could be rushed by the end. But I have hope that they will do it well. One of the most highly anticipated series of the fall. The one everyone was sure was going to be good. Well, they were right. Drifters, from the creator of Hellsing, had a fucking great first episode, throwing us right into this strange world and creating intrigue and mystery around the entire situation surrounding our hero Shimazu. I went into this not watching the OVAs, which I heard are literally just these first 2 episodes we're getting. And I'm very happy I did, because I was surprised by numerous plot elements I didn't have a clue about. This is another ReZero situation where I think it's better going into the first episode not knowing the whole concept of the story. Going in, I had seen the PV, so I knew it was going to be gorgeously animated, but the talent on board here is seriously incredible. With its very unique color tone combined with sharp and fluid animation, it really brings the best out of the blood that's spilling out of everyone on screen. With its unique visual style also comes a very unique soundtrack, which actually sounds pretty modern compared to the era in which this is supposed to take place. But the contrast actually works well and makes for some awesome sequences. It's going to be interesting to see how this story pans out. I'm hoping it will be a 2-cour series. This is something I feel needs the 25 episodes to have a satisfying conclusion. We'll see what happens, but regardless, it's one of the shows worth checking out this season. Don't miss it. What do you get when you take the charm and pleasantness of a Ghibli movie and combine it with the intensity and style of a hit trigger show? Well, you get Flip Flappers. I was blown away by this first episode. Everything about it had so much style and flair that it was hard not to get invested, even if I didn't know exactly what was going on. If you couldn't tell already, the animation is fucking incredible. Some of the best we've seen this season and even all year. And the OST is whimsical and fun to match the visuals. We haven't gotten too detailed in the way of a plot yet, but there are hints of a deeper, more complex narrative at play behind this simple Alice in Wonderland-esque adventure. Art direction is also a plus, as in this premiere alone we got all manner of different locations, made all the better with very uniquely drawn backgrounds, mimicking almost a water painting style. I wish there was more I could say, but it was a pretty simple episode overall. The substance itself is what made it so enjoyable. I will say, for a first-time director, there is some fantastic cinematography and composition in these scenes. Also, before I forget, this ED is probably my favorite of the season. There are a lot of good EDs this season, but I love the fairy tale storybook vibe it gives off. And the song is so catchy and matches the show itself so well. This is definitely looking to be the most underrated show this season, so make sure to check it out and give it the love and attention it deserves. Also, that Yuri bait. Looks like Euphonium and Izetta have some lesbian ship competition.
まあどっちにしろ。おりゃマジかよ。ったく遅えんだよ。
これ以上降りるとシャトルが的になっちゃう。本当にいいんだな。
うん大丈夫。
知らねえぞ。
I love Iron-Blooded Orphans. I loved it so much that I binge-watched the entire first season in 2 days last week, just so I could watch season 2 with everybody else. It quickly became one of my favorite series of all time, due to its tremendous cast of characters, incredible ED Orphans no Namida, and great pacing throughout its entire run. The consistency and quality through every episode astounded me, since it's rare I watch a series and don't feel for even a single episode that one was weak. Which is why I'm happy to report that the first episode of this second season delivers everything I loved about the first. We receive one of the best and most natural time skips I've ever seen. The show brings back the characters we grew to know and love from the first season, as well as introducing new ones that are sure to be welcome additions to the main cast. One of my favorite aspects of this episode, and hopefully this series, is the development of McGillis. It's still unclear whether or not he will be a villain for the entirety of this season, but the screen time and dialogue he got was exceptional. Other than the greatness OST returning and a solid OP, there were some callbacks to the first season that were extremely cool. Things like Kudelia naming her company after Fumitan, or Cookie and Cracker becoming infamous at school because of Biscuit's heroic sacrifice. It's nice touches like these that made the time skip so much more natural for me, and that much more exciting to be back into this world. It's going to be an experience seeing how they end this story for good. This is it, the #1 anime I recommend for the fall season. I've seen primarily 2 types of reactions to this series based on the first episode it's gotten. Hell, even before the first episode aired, you had these people. You have the crowd who's disgusted with this concept, the fan service, the characters, the plot, everything about it people hate. And then you have the crowd who is ironically saying shit like, anime of the year, 10 out of 10, this is the pinnacle of our generation. While my initial interest in Keijo, 8 exclamation marks included, leaned towards the latter crowd, the more I discovered about the series and the more footage I saw made this, unironically, one of my most anticipated shows this season. I'm happy to say that not only did this first episode meet my expectations going in, it surpassed them. What people need to understand about this anime is that this is a parody on the shonen genre as a whole. You'll see people complaining about the fan service and ecchi elements, but it never really felt like pure fan service. The absurdity of it all just lent itself to the humor. The satirized look at fun shonen powers but replaced with boobs and butts is hilarious and one of the show's greatest strengths. Above all, I just think this has been judged way too harshly this season, as it's the best first episode I've seen overall. The action sequences are gorgeously animated, characters are all likable and have their own quirks, and the soundtrack, including the OP and ED, are just as well handled as the animation. Yes, I am aware that the studio chose to skip something like 20 plus chapters of introductory material in the manga and started the story right in the middle. Considering we're only getting 12 episodes, I think it was for the best they tried to fit in as much action and entertainment as they could, and let people read the source material for more in-depth character information. But who knows? They might have flashback material or some other way of explaining those chapters that fits more coherently into this one core season. For all of you who are turned away from this anime by the fan service, I seriously recommend checking it out if you enjoy the shonen genre at all. I understand it won't be for everybody, but this is the episode that I had the most fun watching, and is my #1 recommendation for the fall season. Well, what did you think about my choices? Feel free to tell me how shit my opinion is in the comments below and let me know what you are watching this fall season. And if by some chance you have not heard or given a shot to any of these titles, I highly recommend at least checking 1 or 2 out. Want to return the favor? When you let me know what you guys are watching, pitch it to me. I'm always open to watching more greatness, even if I'm already fully satisfied with this season. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the content, and feel free to check out some other anime related stuff I've worked on. Right here is an AMV I edited for Hunter x Hunter 2011, or Hunter x Hunter, whatever you prefer. I spent weeks on that thing, so letting me know what you think is always appreciated. And right over here is a discussion video me and my friend FhenomSage did on ReZero's final episode, and the series as a whole, an anime that just finished airing in the summer. And of course, I'm always down to talk to you guys about any of the anime I mentioned in this video, so feel free to leave a comment and tell me your personal opinions. I know I'm a little late with this and some of the second episodes have aired already. Even after watching those episodes, most of my list is the same, but I will say if we were counting second episodes, Flip Flappers would absolutely be higher than it is right now. Probably taking the #1 spot, if I'm honest. Please watch it if you haven't. I'm scared it'll go unnoticed this season. We'll see how time changes the other titles in the future, but I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching. I love you. Have a great day.